Hey everybody, welcome to Monkey Fab, monkeyfabgarage.com, and today we are continuing to work on our Volvo 940 swap. We got the bottom in the last video all taken care of, so we just basically put on the lift and went through it, and everything that was connected to something came off, and that's basically what I like. I put it up in the air, take everything I can see that's connected to whatever has to disappear, and take that guy, unhook all that, make sure that, you know, when you're getting ready to do your pull-in, whatever you're doing, that it is not going to get bound up or caught or anything like that. So yeah, so me and Jacob here, sorry, I know crack kills, but hey, what are you going to do? So yeah, we got it covered between Jacob and I. Jacob's 7 foot tall and I'm 5 foot tall, so we can pretty much handle any job that we need to between the two of us. And yeah, we're just getting the old red block all disconnected here, finding the final little cables and doodads and whatnot, ground straps, lots of hoses, etc., and getting that stuff, you know, out of the car, getting it all disconnected so that we can pull the original engine out of this guy, which was really pretty easy. This is just your standard fuel injected, I think it's a 2.3 liters. I think they're called B23s, the red blocks. This is a non-turbo engine, but I think all the blocks are the same. And yeah, and it had an automatic 4-speed overdrive transmission. But I think that overdrive must have been a little bit better, a little bit lower geared than the one that's in the 4L60E. And that's why we're having to, look at that, just out we go, transmission, exhaust, everything. Volvo, you do a great job. And then the rest of it is in and out. Actually, here we're just trying to figure out what we got going on. We got the Holley, it's what, 3200203 pan something. Yeah, and here real quick, we're gonna, you know, toss this guy in here, and it's gonna suddenly dawn on me that all the work I did to get all the front drive accessories and manifold and stuff for the truck, you know, the front truck drive accessories and the front, you know, the truck manifold is 100% not gonna work in the 940. So which is weird because I've seen 240s obviously with truck, I think Trailblazer SS manifolds usually is what I see on them. I don't know if that is you know, maybe obviously the chassis must be different. I guess the 940 looks a little a bit shorter, I guess, in the hood area. It's not quite as deep as that. So that was a bummer. You know, you got all this stuff, took all this time, you find stuff, you buy it, and, you know, do what you can with it. And here comes Bob, because, you know, Bob likes to rub it in. He likes to be that hater, that one hater that shows up and goes, ha ha. And yeah, so not a big deal. We'll figure it out. Hey everybody, it's Mike with Monkey Fab, and as you just saw, bam, the engine and transmission is out super easy. All that work we did in the previous little videos or 2 seconds ago paid off. Everything was disconnected. We just had to thread the wiring harness through the engine manifold kind of area, and I think there was one ground. Yeah, there was like a ground that I missed. But other than that, we came right out first try. Didn't have to put anything down or rethink about anything. Giving you the bottom view of the car right now. This and that. This and that. There she is. And Bob is just out doing Bob to Bob. So, this guy is engineless. Let's take a look at her. Bam! So you can hear it's kind of cool. You can kind of get a side-by-side view of here is the Volvo. It's a, I think it's a B23 something or other. And here is the LS. And yeah, it's not too terribly dissimilar. The lucky thing is we had all this space over here on the block, and Volvo was kind enough just to give us that. They didn't have to fill it with any trash. They just gave us all this space, and they even tucked the steering shaft nice and tight against the rail. Someone in Sweden named Hans of Franz, I don't know if that's a Swedish name, and I don't mean to be perpetuating stereotypes, but maybe they knew. Maybe maybe the Swedes have already figured out time travel way back in the 90s, and they were like, whoa, slow your roll, dude, let's make it a little wider. The kids are going to be throwing in big American V8s in there. It's plausible. Prove me wrong. So we got this guy. It is engineless, and then of course we got this guy. I bet you guys would love to see that thing sitting inside the car, which I've already done, but when I am working, I'm often not thinking of making videos, so I took it out already. Did I tell you guys that we didn't break not one single bolt or strip one single bolt while taking out the exhaust? And it's all because of the acid penetrant dose. You guys got to get some of that for reals. People always think I'm just doing jokes, and that too is plausible, but I really do. It's a great product. So put you on the stick. Let's get the car down, and then we will throw an engine inside it. How's it? Just like, whoa, throw that thing in there. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you guys the angles on this. I know some of you have no idea why I'm doing this. And then some of you are like, Mike, you're so overly dramatic with all your panning. But some of you are trying to do this yourself, and you're wondering, how much room I have right there? Do I not have enough room to stuff a turbo here or there? I don't know. Well, how much room is there for headers? How much room is there for hood clearance? Etc. And you'll be totally psyched that I took the time to do this right here. So this is for all, probably 4 of you, hooking it up with the angles. Okay, so we're gonna do some talkie now. I think what I'm going to do is just order motor mounts for this guy. They have them already pre-made for 940. I just did some Googling, and STS Machining was a company that came up. Called the guy, texted the guy. He says he's got the stuff in stock. So what I'm thinking is somebody has already sat here and figured out all the math and angles and hole bolt patterns, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do that. I can do that. I've done it before. We got the stuff to do it. But the time involved in doing it would actually cost more than if I just order the parts. And if I don't like them, the only thing I could possibly want is the engine going a little higher, a little lower, a little front, or a little back. And if it's already done, all I got to do is cut the plates off and make new plates and weld new ones onto all the stuff that's already been done. That's a win for me. He did say that it fits the air conditioner, I do believe. So that's a bonus. It's sitting kind of forward now, guys. You guys see that there's a bit of a gap here on the firewall. And I think what I usually do is try to push the engine back as far as possible, just because everyone's like, oh, it's the most, you know, it makes more sense to your balance, and it rolls better, and blah, blah, blah. Lots of math stuff going on. So I just do that usually. But the transmission tunnel on this guy it's dainty. I think that's the right word. I think that's the appropriate word for it. So let's look at this. Mind you, this engine sits forward about as much as I have the LS sitting. I did notice that. So it's already forward quite a bit. And you'll see this bell housing. I'll try to, we are, let's see, we're foot lengths away. So if that's our scale from that bell housing, I measured it and it's about 14 inches wide. We'll go over here to the bell housing on the 4L60. And on the pallet we're about a foot away, and I'm about to fall. So this really doesn't help here, but it just, you guys get it. She's girthy, right? And I'll back it up, kind of get this angle. We're a lot higher than we were on the last transmission, but this one is about 18 inches at the bell housing, which isn't a lot. It's only you know, an inch wider all the way around. But it just depends on how much we got to massage that firewall. I've already started banging away at it. How you doing, Bob? With the hammer, just to see how she would how difficult the job. You know, sometimes where they roll metal, it gets really strong, but it pretty well folded away instantly. It wasn't that terribly difficult. So that's going to happen, and I had to turn the microphone around. So I've come to the conclusion, in life you gain the most when you're the most uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable times of my life are the places where I learned the most about myself and went the furthest and accomplished more and gained more. So that's where you want to be. That is the zone. The comfort zone is not the zone to be in. The highly uncomfortable zone in life is a good place to be. Bob is he's so interested in the story. It's a very interesting story, isn't it, Bob? So what's easy for me is to go off the rails, and like the Phoenix. It was in here. You can go back however many years of videos on the Phoenix, and I would just, it's too much. You know, I could have called good enough. The very first thing I did was dropped a LS 3.5 in it on the factory engine. I'm sorry, the factory transmission, rear end, etc. And it was fun, and it might have made sense just to leave that guy right there and just have a fun daily driver. Hook the air conditioner up, and you'd have a cool brown beater that everyone could laugh about, and it'd still be pretty peppy, all things considered. The 300 you can get out of an LS motor, even stock form, is quite an improvement over the 120 horsepower that thing came with originally. Anyway, point being, it's easy for me to do that and waste time and energy and effort and resources, etc., going down that path. And I'm just happy as can be doing that. The hard thing for me is setting boundaries and limitations and saying, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do X. So with all that in mind, as we've been rolling through, I've been up every night. I can't sleep. It's been 3 or 4 nights when I just try to shut down, and all I can think of is the car and all the things that you go through and whatever. And I think the problem is I haven't nailed down exactly what to do with the car and what would be interesting for you guys to follow. So that's what we're going to do, is the boundaries. It's just going to be stock. It's just going to be exactly how we pulled it from the wrecking yard. No nothing, no cams, no anything. Hopefully we'll pull the injectors out and clean them, but we're just going to run the factory injectors, and that's it. And I'm just going to we're going to use a cable throttle body. We're going to replace the intake with something lower. You guys will see. I'm sorry, I will throw the manifold on there in just a second, and that'll be the first step along the way. And all we have to do is get those mounts, get that guy into there, throw the Holly on it, and then figure out the wiring piece, which is it's quite terrifying. Especially if you're not a wiring guy. It is really scary. I'll show you the current situation. Look at this. You guys see this? I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure you could power a small city with some of these harness wads or ropes coming through here. I mean, it is just crazy. My plan? Well, guys, I'll tell you my plan. My plan is just to leave it all alone. Don't mess with it. Put the engine, the Holly in, tuck everything away, hope that everything works. I know that the windows and stuff work, so maybe you guys know this. The only things that really scare me is the wiring piece of it. All the wiring in the engine bay, it's a lot. And then I have the anti-lock brakes, so I really hope that if I don't unplug anything and put it back together, that the brakes will work, and lights, windows, all the stuff like that. And it's just, you know, freaking out because it doesn't know the engine's running or something, or all the warning lights are on. That would be like the best case scenario. I haven't messed with the rear end, so the odometer, or the speedometer should work, the odometer should work, the gas gauge should work. I don't really care about a tachometer, but I also have the Holly little screen that comes with the thing that we could set up there to kind of do like tach and all the other stuff. And then I imagine the dash is just going to be like a red light district. So let me know if you guys know about wiring or anti-lock braking stuff. I'd appreciate that. And that'll be it. Pretty much, we did some math on it, and we said if we can get it, I think it was like 300 horsepower, we could run like a 12, mid 12s. That'd be kind of cool. We only got an 1/8 mile here, but I think that'd be interesting. Let me grab this intake, and we'll put that on so you guys can see. Sorry about the excessive rambling. I'm just really excited about this project. All right, keep in mind, I got this guy sitting up on the pan relatively high. I'll show you that guy. I didn't show you guys that angle, did I? So underneath here, we got it kind of sitting up on the oil pan. There's like a 2 kind of stage oil pan there. There you go. So you guys hopefully can see down there. So it could go lower with a oiling pan or whatever, but here is, let's see if we can get the other fender. So that's kind of what you're getting. You know, mind you, the engine will tilt back a little bit, so you'll add a few degrees of rake into it backwards. But yeah, you could run one of those easily, as long as you don't mind cutting big holes in your hood. But we're going to try to keep her stock for now. So LS1 or LS6 or LS4, something like that, will go on the front of that guy. So that's where we're at. This thing's going to go in the air. You're going to get the Phoenix in and finally change out the injectors for the Bosch Snake Eater Bosch 1400 cc's, and then we can finish hopefully dialing that thing in. It's got just a few tweaks left on it, a little bit of tuning. So yeah, we're doing that.